You know what? It's so easy to feel like you aren't making any progress in your business. It's so easy to compare yourself to others. So easy to look at that big goal that's in 1, 2, 3 years time and say, well, I'm still nowhere near that. Or, well, I've got a goal for the end of this month. It's the start of this month. And yeah, I'm nowhere near it. And actually, sometimes you have to step back and think, wait a minute. And this may not apply to everyone, but some of you are where you are right now, right? So where you are right now is where you wished you were a year or two ago, right? You might have been employed before, you might have been hating your boss, hating your job, and now you're self-employed, you're doing your own thing, you got more money, you got more freedom. And you might not be, right? But for some of you, you can very easily step back and say, this is, you know, sort of step 1, step 2, step 3 of what I wanted. And if that's not you, you know, maybe you can look back on your personal development, you know? Well, a year ago, I wished I knew about this sector. I wish I had the confidence to do this. I wish I could, whatever it is. And if none of these apply to you, then maybe you're really at the start of your journey, or you're just really lazy and you haven't actually achieved anything. Like, let's be blunt here. But probably not. You're probably at the start where you're like, okay, I want to make a change. I want to do this. I want to be better. What do I do, right? But this video is going to be suitable for you if whichever camp you're in. Unless you're lazy, then you can just do one. Or you can just keep looking at my pretty face, whatever you want. When you're an entrepreneur, and actually even when you're employed, something we really don't do, and it's the topic of this video, this TED Talk, is celebrating small wins. It's too easy to have big goals and big dreams and 10x everything. Where is Grant Cardone these days? What's he up to? It's very easy to do that, but then to not actually enjoy that process, or to be so focused on that big vision that you aren't processing each step. You know, you have to love the process. Yes, you're not going to like admin or doing your, you know, your QuickBooks, whatever. But generally speaking, you have to enjoy the process, because you hear this from all these famous people, all these rich people. When you get to the end goal, when you have that income, when you have that money, you sell the business, but whatever it is, people don't find satisfaction from that. You know, oh, I became a millionaire and then, yeah, and I sold my business and I was kind of aimless, and it's all about the process, right? So we're going to talk about small wins, how to celebrate them, how to identify them, and why they're important. Now, why do small wins matter? Now, a small win means, for example, this year I want to raise £1 million in investor finance to buy businesses with. A small win means after 2 months you're at 100 grand. That's a small win because you're on your way. A small win is a few months later you're on 400 grand. An even smaller win is after a few weeks you've hit your KPIs, or you're getting to your KPIs of speaking to 50 potential investors that month. That's a small win. You know, you want to buy 3 businesses this year. You want to invest in your education. You want to buy property, whatever it is. Well, there's certain KPIs and steps on the way to those big goals. You know, you're going to buy a property. Okay, well, that's 40 viewings a month you have to do. Okay, I'm on 30 and it's the 3rd week. We're going to hit 40. When you hit 40, that's a small win. Because without that 40, you're not going to buy a property. And without those 50 investors you've potentially spoken to, with their potential to invest, you're not going to get an investor, right? So that's what small wins are. They're smaller milestones, they're stepping stones on the way to a much bigger goal, right? I mean, some things are not small wins necessarily. Like, I think for me personally, you know, if I've finished a day and I've hit all my KPIs and my things, you know, I think there is some positive affirmation that I can say to myself, but I don't see that as a small win. I think for me, weekly is probably the smallest time frame, only because it gives you enough time to do things, but also, you know, you kind of feel like a bit more worthy of that celebration. But look, it's totally up to you. You might have a job, a business where actually on a daily, you know, if you're a doctor, you're saving lives, especially if you work for the NHS, like, you're underpaid, you're saving lives, you're probably going to want to celebrate every day because it's so flipping hard, right? So I think the first reason that they matter is it's a psychological boost. You know, we love rewards, we love dopamine, we like feeling good as humans. And if we can trick our brains almost into, you know, feeling good for just these small wins, it means you're motivated because you know, oh, next small win going to feel good. And it also then classically conditions you to know that hitting these small goals, these small wins, equals a positive feeling and positive praise from yourself. So you're almost saying sort of to your body, well, we keep doing this, we're going to keep feeling good, and we're still going for our big target. So it's a win, win, win. The second one is momentum is so important. It almost creates a kind of momentum, you know, when you reward for the small wins, you feel good about it, you want to do it again, you reward, you do it again, you want to do more, because then you want a bigger reward. And although you're not achieving that end goal, you're not achieving financial freedom with a small win, that's a big win. It takes about, what, 100, 200 small wins to achieve that? And so you're just building your way up and pushing yourself, getting that boulder rolling down the hill, right, of momentum from this positive praise. It also builds confidence because, you know, it's like in a video game when you get power-ups along the way and your XP increases and your skills increase. Because you're kind of saying to yourself, pat on the back, oh, I can do that. I did that. Yeah, I've hit that first KPI for that week, boom. Second week, I think I can do even better. Third week, okay, yeah, it builds that confidence in yourself and your abilities because let's say you quit your job and you're in this new business and you've got these targets to hit, and how do you know that you can actually achieve them? How do you know that you can do them? How do you know, again, this goes back to my video on imposter syndrome, but how do you know that you're actually the best person for this who can do it? I mean, you don't know until you start doing it, really. As your mentor, I can tell you this all the time. You know, as a business coach, I can tell people this all the time, but, you know, until they really do it and look back and say, okay, like I did that, you know, and well done for doing that, you know, you don't always have the confidence. So this, and especially when you're tracking this, like I do with my mentees, you know, centralized KPI tracker, milestone tracker, you can look back on it at the end of the month, end of the week and say, okay, I'm doing it. We're heading towards the target and I'm seeing some of the results. Or I'm not hitting it as a problem. You know, we need to do something about that. Now, I think there is a danger, and this is my second key point here, of focusing on just big goals. One is you get this kind of paralysis, two types of paralysis. One by perfection. Oh, I'm waiting till I make 10 grand a month. I'm waiting till I secure that big a deal. And you know what happens as entrepreneurs? We still do that and then we go, oh, no, I need a bigger one. Oh, no, I need more. It's this hedonistic treadmill. And so you get paralyzed by, oh, well, I'm not there yet. And then you're never there, right? Or you just keep, you know, looking for that big goal, but it takes a year. How are you going to go a year without celebrating your wins or without celebrating your progress or without telling yourself, oh, actually, yeah, I'm doing all right? It's going to be pretty tricky, you know? Your mind, your body is not going to enjoy this. And then secondly, you can get a form of paralysis by almost seeking perfection, you know? In that we haven't hit the big goal, these small goals, oh yeah, I hit my KPI, but it wasn't there. I wanted to, you almost get bogged down in everything, every step has to be perfect, every target has to be hit exactly, every this, and then again, as entrepreneurs, even if you get that perfection, you still then say, oh yeah, but I could have done more. If I did that, I could do more. You know, and it's this constant never-ending cycle of you focusing only on big goals and having these two elements of paralysis, right, in what you're doing. Secondly, you know, it's a great way to get burnt out, you know? Who remembers that video game, Burnout? Strange, you just have to do lots of like wheel spins all the time. But you will get burnt out before you finish that finishing line because there is no, you know, you're running a marathon, right? You're getting no water along the way. You're getting no electrolyte, you know? You're getting no electrolytes, you're getting no bananas, you're getting no those squeezy, you're getting, no one's even cheering. That is what not celebrating small wins is. I can't run a marathon to save my life. I'm currently at sort of 3 or 4 minutes is the max I can run for. Calf injury, long story, but pretty pathetic, right? How are you going to do a marathon in, let's say you're doing it in the desert, yeah? You're in Dakar, it's going to be fucking hot. How are you going to do this with no water, no electrolytes, no support, no food, nothing? And then half of you ain't even got training for this marathon because you're just jumping into a business blind, you know, without investing in your education or your consulting or mentorship, whatever it is. So, like, this doesn't make sense. It's not possible. People don't do it. You're not going to be the exception who can just do that. And so you're just asking to get burnt out by not rewarding yourself. Because mentally also you think, why am I doing this? You know, it's 3 months in and, you know, I've only got 2 houses and my aim is 10 by the end of the year, and like that's far away. And then like I'm just working for like what reward? I can't even enjoy the fact that I've got 2 houses because that. It doesn't work, right? And so really there are real dangers of only focusing on big goals. And look, it's great to have big goals. You definitely have them. They should be, you know, so big. But along the way, you need stepping stones. You can't jump over a 4-foot wide river. There needs to be stepping stones in the middle of it, or else you can get wet socks. And ain't nobody like wet socks. God damn it. How do you recognize a small win? I kind of touched on this earlier, but you know, I think it's in the details, and it's in how you like to process things, but also based on you as a person. When I go to the gym, it's not a small win because I go so regularly. If you've never been, if you're just starting out, if you're anxious about going, if you're scared about going, every visit then is a small win. If you've been lazy for years and now you're getting up, everyone is a small win, right? And I think it's also about progress, not perfection. And again, harking back to that point, you don't just want to celebrate when you hit a perfect small win, because nothing is going to be perfect. It's about, are we 1% better? Are we 4% better this time? Have we done more this time? Is my food business making more money than it was before? Are we spending less on food? Are we wasting? Okay. You know, these small wins are going to add up. So look at that progress over perfection, right? And I think, you know, in terms of how you're going to celebrate it, it's totally up to you, but reward yourself. Take a mini break, book a holiday if you've had a bunch of small wins, eat something you like, go for a walk, get some exercise, play a video game, watch a Netflix show, whatever. You know, it can be as big or small as you like. And also, sometimes it can help by sharing this on social media or with your friends, because, you know, people almost come together then and you kind of celebrate your wins, and it builds relationships. You know, we connect on our vulnerability, so we connect on the negatives, but we definitely also connect on, you know, the highs, right? It's the highs and the lows. It's that emotional roller coaster that brings us closer to people. And you might inspire some people to stop burning themselves out, to get out of that rut and say, actually, yeah, that was a small win. I'm going to celebrate that. And you can just spread positivity, you know, to sound like an Ibiza hippie, you know, vibes, you know, vibes. You could create a win jar, you know, something you chuck money into, you chuck, you know, something, an IOU into, whatever it is, so that at the end of the month, end of the thing, you know, even little notes in it saying what you've done, you can read it and say, wow, this jar's full at the end of the month. Here's my small win, you know, or keep it on a spreadsheet or, you know, whatever. And I think, you know, one of the key ways that we touched on this earlier about the importance of small wins, but to summarize, celebrating these small wins creates a compound effect of positive reinforcement, of positivity, and of being rewarded for, you know, doing something that is contributing to that much bigger goal. You know, it keeps you in the game. It stops you getting burnt out. It ensures that you will continue and you're in this for the long run. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs, and they don't really talk about this, will burn out or will quit their business because they are getting no positive praise. The market not buying their product, right? The market's not giving them reviews and feedback. So where else are they going to get it from? You know, it has to come from inside. There has to be a strong foundation here of positivity and reinforcement. And lastly, I think it reduces stress because you understand that you are progressing. You don't need to just keep going for that big goal. And so it keeps you sane and reduces your stress on this long, long road of entrepreneurship. And, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, the Leaning Tower of Pisa wasn't built. The house you're in, the place you're in wasn't built in a day. All these overnight successes are, one, faking it, 95% of them, or 5% have just taken forever to get there. Sorry, 4% have taken forever to get there, and they claim it's an overnight success. And then 1% have actually taken ages to get there, which is most people, and they also talk about that online, right? It's a very, very long road, okay? Your business, your mindset is going to be built brick by brick. These small wins ensure that you have a life, right? You're positive along the way, and, you know, they make space, right? They make space for you to love the process. That is super important. I'd love to hear your small wins, people. Leave a comment below, send me a DM on Instagram, talk to me, give me your small wins.